say I want to give him the promotion. Remember Obeah that. Now, when I got a courthouse, you know, first thing, the prisoner walk Obeah for come out of jail, you know. Then the prisoner walk Obeah upon the police now. That's the police to come to court, or that's the police probably crash and drop down. And then the prisoner walk Obeah upon the witness them now. And then now, the prisoner also walk Obeah upon the judge. So the judge have to go back and walk Obeah to make sure say she don't end up like Judge Ephraim, what did have Mobile, where they put the frog and padlock up her mouth. See if the judge Obeah that's strong, you know, she get liquor for the pulpit or him get liquor for the pulpit. So the judge have to walk Obeah. See if you believe Obeah they go to court or say do about Obeah. Then when they go to politics now, because they know me in politics. This MP work Obeah now for make sure clap the other MP. You see with Peter Phillips, you see when I jog up at the Zion Church, Peter Phillips all of the election, Peter Phillips dropped straight asleep. After election he wake up back. And then there's Lisa Ada now. Lisa Ada says she got road against them. Yeah man, so that's it the people. So yeah man. Alright, so the stick frankincense by next week have them.
Yeah.
Alright. So they got the boss, the real big man. Don't know. Yeah, but if you know say Rasta are the real spiritual people them. Because I tell a man say if I say a Rasta is spiritual, let me say a fake. Like I tell? Alright. Yeah man, so that's around the world people if you know. Yeah man. Yeah man, see there? All the look of youth them. And I like one time, you go there, shop them and you see people there. All the look of youth them right now, people, see there? Ah, youth! So, the look of youth them right now, people. They do them things, so. And I want people to full. People know about them sovereignty now and know about them indigenousness. And people know about them spellbound kangle and them things, and people know everything now, people. So big up the people them who in the thing and know about them things. So I don't know. So when Nanny now people did under attack, a science that they use. See the 80 until now 80 people. Only somebody 80 people and afraid of people. Are we the Nyankepong, otherwise known as Atlanteans, Ashanti, what them now call Jamaica, what the colonials them call Jamaica Maroons. The 80 Maroons are not afraid of others of Maroons on the planet except we. Because they know so our thing turn up. You understand? So people want to tell us something. You can't go on dead and turn fool. See it the other day now. This look man now, film foot a rotten off. Him got a doctor, him go everywhere. People. Ask him look a sister. Nobody could have done the film. Then now, I the man whatever say now. Them cause enough of them said the emperor, me a devil, me a evil. True. Me tell them say they forgot learn them spiritual things. The doctor them tell him say him foot a forgot chop off. And me him come to him and say, yo, you hear that? Yes, it's a big foot them gear. You know, say a sore foot them gear. People, simple thing me use. Me just tell them say, yo, go down to the market. Go for your thing named cayenne pepper. You understand? Or bird pepper. And people, when we do some boom now, I'm tell them say, go up on the drugstore. Or if you don't go to the drugstore, go to the local Roman Catholic place and tell them say, you want some holy water. And then him get the holy water because he never get to the drugstore because he did finish at the drugstore. So him go up at the Roman Catholic Church of half a tree and Pastor Dan, so big up Pastor Dan. Pastor Dan give him some of it. And people, when the boy Seabird, no, I know I call him name. So when they look up, you come back now people, him and his sister and his mother, Because my mother they go sugar around me. And the sister say, yeah, you don't go check the emperor. People, when we use the cayenne pepper, people, and drop the cayenne pepper in that, people, the amount of maggish where you see run out of it, I'm a chant to Hebrew language. What I can, brah. I'm a ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. People, and then when the maggish ever fly out, people, we just drop the holy water for the people. The man go back at doctor and doctor ask him how short him go. The doctor them say they want to find out who heal him foot because the doctor them say the boy foot have to chop off people. A big foot them give a boy, sore foot. So let me tell you something, if you know what's going on, let me teach you about life. All who know what about to live in England and they talk about to the holy, let me tell you this. England were the most warrior on the planet. England what the most scientists job. And if you say you go to California now, eh? You can't go to Vegas unless you load it. Yes, people. So England now, even the police them join a thing named the Witch Club. They name the Witch Club. And then the gentleman who formed the Witch Club now, people, a dog has him come down a place named St. Thomas in the early 80s. And learn it. And then go back to England and form one of the biggest witch club. Now, when I go to a certain place in Africa and tell the people say you come from over here, so whatever tell them say you're the emperor link, they must say, the big man, top man. So we eat a thing named okra, people. In Africa, they use okra for the biggest science. Ask anybody. In Haiti now, we eat a thing called susumba, and we eat another thing called pimento. In Haiti, they use pimento and a thing called susumba for the biggest science. Lick over any elephant, mash down any lion and tiger, and we over here, so we just eat susumba as food. And we eat okra, we cut up okra, eat with steamed fish, eat all okra raw. When certain Obeah man say that Africa eat okra, they will say, God, he's a God, or she's a God. They run the fear, they run for you. We eat them things in our plate. That's why you say nanny now, people. Them could run for nanny. So see that when Bookman go over 80 people and go start the 80 revolution, people. How Obeah Bookman go over there with? Clap off the Americans them, clap off the Dutch them, clap off the Spanish them, clap off the Irish them, everybody dead. But I never gone alone we use people, we use science. So now, but that new 80 prime minister, you know, people, him the kind of sell out at first, you know, people. But in the last when him say right, he don't understand himself and say sovereignty. At them time the feds them go kill him. So Joe Biden them and the Chinese them send go kill him because the man say him now wear no mask and him now because him they wear the mask at first, people. But then him start lick out against the mask at the last and say no lockdown, no injection needle. So the Chinese them send go kill him. Now them put in that little Tom Jerry now, so we're gonna see what the Tom Jerry gonna do. But then the Tom Jerry believe him bad. Tell him we gonna talk about injection needle over 80. What we done Cuba again. You know what time it is. So people, see that? What if a feds gone at 80 now and say them carry the army gone at 80, gonna take over 80. So I tell the people, wanna see me telling the people. So wanna fight against the one a soldier. And now see that an alien invader now. The Chinese invader now. Like how the Trinidadian Prime Minister and look out against him national dish for Chinese food. You see me telling you, sell out again. So fire for the Trinidadian Prime Minister. People, every Prime Minister what try to uplift the people them. The Chinese man, Joe Biden them send go kill them, the feds them. But people, Metalanja only say, him better see God and come over back on the right side because I know Andrew Wallace is that good looking maroon youth. I never know say him a go follow Christopher Tough John come. I mean Christopher Tough Dog. Christopher Tough John or John or Christopher Columbus, anything I want him. And sell out the people them. Some people. Now Christopher Crofton a plan to kill Andrew Wallace to take over the party. And Andrew Wallace now made them hype him up. And him a try to kill the governor general to take over the army. So one bagger, him a try to kill him. But no for you know, we don't go find out as you remember. Them say me have goat mouth. And me never thought nothing wanna go say it people. You don't try to remember one sin thing. What me chat. And it never goes so. Try. Come on, try to remember the man. No matter how you talk about how the emperor him chat too much, you know. But you know always come back and say, boy, emperor, you know, so you the tell you say, them kill off Ray, you know, so you the tell you say Canada go lock down, you know, so you the tell you say, COVID go come out. I told you know, all these things before them even happen. Months ahead. Months ahead, people. So now, I honestly going to try to test me. I want you to understand. I want you to understand what the emperor chat. People, you don't have to up in on the thing. So, if you believe that life is all about what you check it is, you make a silent mistake. Life is all about 20% or 10% physical and 80% physical, spiritual, and sometimes 90% spiritual. And if you sound read the Bible tells us, seek ye physician. There are spiritual wickedness in your low places. Now, when some people come now and come tell us that them want you give them all good read up. People, how you want to get a good read up? And first thing, you're not putting on for the spirit them on the table. The spirit them want them pay to. Watch everyone on the show them. What them talk about Spartan or them talk about Horus or Osiris. You see say the spirit them always want them thing. The Nubians them the spirit them, you have to feed the spirit them pan rum. You have to buy swanga and give the spirit them. You have to give the spirit them certain bush. And you have to light them. You have to give the spirit them certain incense. And you have to always pay the spirit them in a copper or gold. Yes people, copper or gold. So if you go up on certain works, you better make sure you have gold. So if you have a gold ring, you take it off and say, yo, use a gold ring and pay the spirit them. Or you use a copper ring and pay the spirit them. Or you use the silver copper them and pay the spirit them. Because enough of you so now science man and now tell the people them things. Tell any science man to tell me so lie me tell. Yeah. I have to know how to sound their bang people. Sound their bang. Yes, people. So, I see that people. This is a prayer, white name. Go away evil. So this are the go away evil people. See it here? So when I do so, I say go away evil, I just pray some all over the place and you spray some for yourself and all over the place and washala, sala, mota. So all you for have a spray one go away evil. I just pray it and people say you're evil. Anybody when you spray to go away evil say you're evil and everybody evil. None of them grudge of your man, girl. And my youth, none of them grudge of your woman. Because you have some boy you talk about you and them a friend. And two your woman look good. Them ready for your woman. Yeah. And enough of them. That's why when I go around enough of them I see my ring start get black. I say, yo, they don't say no good. And oh, you know that. I say the ring tell me everything. And him say, yo, the ring a full ring. And me just hold up on one of them friend hand. And him say the ring turn silver. Like it just go out a jewelry shop. I want to grab on from film hand. I'm hold film hand for about 2 minutes. I say, what color the ring turn? Oh, him stammer. I say, see it? Go clean up yourself. You have something dirty about you. And 5 days after Carrie lick him down, I almost kill him. Then him call me back. Oh, you bro, you're the right, you know. I just stop the evil powers. But seek God. And stop seeking the devil. Yeah. So when I get some ring people, boom. And no found about that minister because who know what ring what to tell you in the future. And who know what ring. You see the Pope, remember tell you. Who know remember about in 1988. They look a fool. What about him got teeth the Pope ring? You know, see, them whole man cut him up in about 200,000 piece as anybody in Vatican. So what's so powerful about the Pope ring? That's a man thief the Pope ring and him have to end up care about the ring. They find him. Because I remember tell about poor ring. The man think upon him tracker, spiritual tracker. Anybody ring go? Once the spirit assigned to you, the spirit will tell you say, yo, over there say your ring there. Yeah. I also ring now what them good still you know. But you have to load them the back every year. So when you want to make money off of some local people now, you just give them the one loaded ring. So every year they have to bring it back and come load it. So you make money off of them fast. But if it's a powerful Dan or one of them top politician or drugs dealer, the way you know say a good youth and them spend the money, you just tell them say, yo, give me a 10,000 US or give me a 5,000 or if you know sometimes they might not have the money on the spot because a local deal might go on and it don't come through. It's like give me 3,000 US. I would have the money carry there some money come. But the money sure for come people. Yeah. Yeah man, I put ring them people, ring a normal thing. They're different from that now. You have a thing named John the Conqueror and the part and all them thing. And a normal thing people. So why all large people wear ring? Why all real Roman Catholic have them ring? I want them thing. And then only now a poor and pauperized now and they suffer. And about who? And Jesus may say, me not say certain things. And then the pastor himself will come and say, yo, Emperor, listen me. You have a look a man down the road, walk and look a church, you know. From him open my church to my church now make the money, you know. Listen me, Emperor, fix me up. And I say, listen me, Pastor Blair. No, I mean, listen me, Pastor Ray, Tete. All this. Show it in the church before the church open. And when Pastor Ray, show the thing in the church, people. The whole church ram. Man all the figure collection. Man all were hungry. Man were hungry and can't find a even piece of food for him pit to them. And throw the whole of the money in the collection plate and say, yes, Pastor, bless me. And then when him go home and find out him hungry. And then the pastor just say, hey, bro, big up yourself. I say, Pastor, listen me. Don't ramp with me now. What the money there? I'm somebody, Emperor. Don't worry yourself, man. But when you still got to go to church down the road, I say, listen me, the money I forgot to find out because I already drive back your people them to you. So, don't worry about the money down the road. They tell you, even though the man down the road, they give me money to you. So, but my work, it doesn't tell them I eat food. But sometimes bad mind is still, because you eat food, the man church down the road eat food, but you still know why the man church eat food. Why I can't take them past there? I mean, I know them say them are God people, you know. And they full of such bad minds, most of them. By the way, I work for them same way. Yeah. Because if a pastor where say Jesus Christ, the man a pastor down the road say Jesus Christ. But now, they come check before I mash up the man church on the road. And then the man down the road come check before mash up your church. So me just fix up the two now. You will eat food and he may eat food, so you can't ball. Papa Jesus. Shalom alaikum. So anyway, people. But so if the pastor them, big top pastor, they come get them fixed up. Or you don't know where you suffer. They talk about you sit up. Listen, you can't go and stand there. That's why, yo, let me tell you, check out Bill Gates. Check out Elon Musk. Them have a thing, and check out the whole of the president for the United States. Them have a thing called lodge. Them have a thing called the barnyard. So when them come at the lodge and the barnyard and everything and come get them fixed up, them go back to who they vote. I want to know who they vote for. So people, who get sense once in their life, the man, see it, go to your yard and go buy and say, yo, Emperor. And this is the real one. See it, white mark, go away evil. Yeah. So they can go and stand there. Like, you have that look a big head girl, you know, people. She know, she can't check me full of their money. Every time she check me, that's why I tell her, I don't work for poor people. You can go visit misled up a Scott's Hall, yeah, cause. But people can't take it cause enough of them come to you, them cry water, tell you them problem. When you work for them, you know, and things go on for them, them disappear. And when them see in the road, them go and them drive past you. Like them for God's sake, them owe your money. That's why Williams now people, boom. Big up Dr. Love people. Yeah. And the king for social media that people. Them can't test the king. See the Amari. You see what the Amari come here. And Amari come check me. And when you say Amari go back, all when them say Amari can't sing. Only see if you sing the song. All when them say Amari half key. Only still sing the song. I want to know, man. Want to know what science? All when them say only not like her. Only still have got each up on her page. Want to know what science? Listen to me. Don't come call me, man. 1876 773 4594 or call me on my other line. Listen to me. Right now, people may look for a science man better than me. More find a science man better than me because at the end of the day, more test my powers, people, because judge, them used to say judge better than me till judge have to come check me if you get skeleton in that one bag of thing. You understand? Ask Dr. Love. Dr. Love through me bring him to Williams because them tell the Dr. Love brown sugar rob Dr. Love how much money that the rising star. Rob Dr. Love money and tell Dr. Love say she pregnant. And rob Dr. Love must 35,000 or 45,000 US dollar. And Dr. Love come up all I want and say Emperor. Now the alignment them tell them never name Emperor. Them tell them just name 7-star general, but Dr. Love knows some bad pan the Obeah. So Dr. Love say come to Jamaica, so I'm buying plane ticket and come check me. And I make brown sugar give back the whole of the money, people. No, I lie me tell, she never give back all the money, she spend most of it. But brown sugar give back most of the money, people. And then now, because I'm busy them time, I think I got a came on her. Listen, man, I want to call me upon the other number, the other cast. Hold on, I think the other number there, you know, hold on there. Let me see. Oh, I'm going to turn it now. I'm going to turn on the other number, call upon the other number. The other number now is 1876 1876 508448. Call me. Yeah, see that, but just a turn time back. So anyway, Dr. Love now. So when brown sugar rob Dr. Love, and Dr. Love, they're foreign stranded. I say, listen to me. I go and make you get back your money. People, when we broke 2 dry coconut, I'm going to take a piece of olive branch and write up brown sugar name on a piece of parchment paper and give Dr. Love this. I say, listen to me, Dr. Love. Find the nearest graveyard and go throw that in and buy some copper, silver, because them tell the Dr. Love she rob him, saying couldn't buy gold. People are the fastest Dr. Love get back your money. Dr. Love send gunman. Dr. Love call brown sugar, not never they work. Him call police, not never they work. And I don't know how him, because no for them want to check me, but them afraid to call me. You understand? I see the people from that Dr. Love, things are going good. Yeah. Yeah, man, things are going good for Dr. Love. They can't talk to the king, and the king people. So, now that we're in the maroon business now, people, I will get on a higher spiritual level now, people, because I'm going to check the ancestors, there, man. The ancestors, them say, Emperor, hold this. You see what there? The Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, for Jamaica corporate government. You see him win the election. Where you see him though? Andrew Holness make sure so I'm going to check the local maroon church, the Kumina church, the Zion church. People, the opposition leader drop asleep straight through the, I think I know him still asleep. The opposition leader drop asleep straight through the election, forgot the election to run. All when Lisa and Adepan, Peter wake up, Peter, what I say, election time yet? He said no, a couple days before it. So people, so that's why I'm telling you, Andrew Holness, I kinda love him more time than people, but I just show him go switch against him people them. Inside of the man come link up with the emperor, no sorry, the emperor. Are you are the Maroon government now? Make it run the place and make the people them eat back food and elevate hunger and poverty. No, in big side with Christopher Tough Janko. Or Tough something. I don't know him name people. I don't remember him name, man. The debt minister. No, the debt minister, I mean the so-called health minister. And they keep up one bag of sugar. And they give the people them one bag of injection needle. People, let me tell you something. I Obeah for Obeah. Science is science. How are you, man? You have a bridge named Dillarance. When Dillarance did young, Dillarance come around here and come check with my Maroon ancestors them. And from that, see that Dillarance are the top man right now, people. How are you, man? Ask me about Thomas Dillarance. Look at most of the money they want to see him name on it. Yeah, people can call me already. Yeah, the phone up again. Yeah, the phone up again. Yeah. So that may telling the people. So, as me say, entertainment, that's why I like Beyonce. Beyonce and Jay-Z, them make sure tell us them have straight witch. Beyonce them tell us them are Illuminati and them everything. So I like Beyonce them. I don't like the people them are in the thing and I go like them not in the thing. Them are hypocrite. I don't like hypocrite. If you're in the thing, just say in the thing and big it up and done. That's why I like them look at DJ now. They notice them look at DJ now. They may eat food faster than the old time DJ them. Or put out bigger song. Because them look at youth and now clear themselves. Them look at youth and geared up. So when they put out a one tune people just buy the tune and don't know why they buy the tune. All when the tune them now say nothing now. A couple of them come check me people. I'm not telling lie. Yeah. And then the master never come check me. They come say, Emperor, listen me. Do what you have to do, you know. See, I told you I charge $300,000. I say I $3,000 US. Do what you have to do. I'm say, alright. Bob. Them look at youth nowadays. The first time artists them, I was hypocrite. That's why them broke and poor enough for them. But them look at youth nowadays as them drop a song before the song play on radio they sell. Yeah. What do you man? What if you don't understand what I say? People who don't understand what I say, I already don't understand. If you don't understand, just say you don't understand because a lot of you love going to understand what I say when you don't understand. Yeah. A science run the world, people. Let me tell you nothing. See the Pope of Rome there? What is the difference between the Pope of Rome and a science man around the corner? The Pope of Rome have him holy oil. He have him oil of this, oil of that. The Pope of Rome put him frankincense and him myrrh and him, yes, and the Pope of Rome light up him big candle him. But through the Pope of Rome dress up more cleaner and have a white like an Indian L.A. Lewis or him the Emperor. Uno say Obeah work. Oh, the Pope good man. People, if you don't know about the Pope of Rome, ramp for the Pope and say, but you better have a bad Obeah man or have some bad power string. So people, you have a little picture, you look picture bright like bat. You understand? Because battle can see in the dark people. And all of a sudden, you look up the beard, nothing now go off you look up pitney. Sense of sense, you look up pitney. You have your brand new car. And your next door neighbor vex, bad mind kill him. All of a sudden you see your car give you a problem. And at one time them say, yo, carry a car down on the sea and throw some water point and carry down on the river. All of a sudden your car start broke down. Then a couple weeks after that the car start broke down again. That's a way to the mechanic me need. It's a science man me need. Cause people, if you don't know which car was set free, they don't wonder if a mechanic shop here run. You understand? That's why I like Siago people. That's why I like Siago. You understand? Because Siago used to do things up front. Yeah, people. Siago the ramp. Siago work for him over straight. And that's why he was one of the baddest prime ministers in history. Manley used to work him over too, you know. But not like Siago. Siago up front with it. And me or Anja Wallace say want free poor better, you know. But I actually want to get back on my good side, people. Guard up. Yes, people, Mel phone on them song there. Gathering song. Show me a drive, people, so I don't go. Guard up. Hold on, let me see if I can park up and find it.
Oops. Yeah, this is LA Lewis, right? So he was just in a Obeah shop a while ago. So he was talking about how people use science, which is witchery, you know, voodoo or whatever you call it, whatever name you wish to call it under. So he basically talked about a few of the, what do you call it, prime ministers, Trinidad prime minister, Jamaican prime minister, and he explained this is a month, I think this is a month ago, I think he did this one. So he's talking about the Freemasonry, he brought that up. He's talking about what he done for other people to help them to get through, because you know some people use these sciences practices to get through whatever they got to get through. He showed a spray which majority of the people who knows what the sprays are for would understand what he's talking about in some form or fashion. So he's talking about a few things in one. So he's saying that the police also deals with the witchery of stuff. So he's explaining a lot. So today, because I've discovered this stream thing as well, so I got a chance that I can finish make my videos. So because I might give it a rest after that. I might try to give it a rest because it's addictive being on YouTube. YouTube can be very addictive, which is what I'm finding. So so he is explaining a lot, and he is also. But what I like about these gentlemen, or I think I've chosen a few gentlemen that's been on here, or this gentleman particularly, because people will say what they will say bad about you, even if you are doing good. The only issue I have with him is the card thing, what he's introducing, because I think if it can work in England, if it can work in Jamaica, it must can work in England. That's the only issue I got with him. But apart from that, he does talk a lot of sense. You know, he talks a lot of sense. His patois is very deep, mind you. So it's very much he puts a lot of things forward. That's why now if the baby was here now, I wouldn't be able to talk, I wouldn't be able to interact with you. So you would know when she's here, because I won't say nothing. I will just record the thing. I'm not saying nothing, but I'm gonna try to find a way to see if I can record sometimes and not make it live, or make it live sometime. But he actually talks a lot of sense, you know. You're just picking, read between the lines kind of thing with him, I think. I'm hoping he's not going to play music on here, because no, I don't want him to play music on here. As soon as he start playing music, I'm going to have to fast forward. So we might miss a few stuff, but he actually is for the people, for what I can gather. I'm hoping he's not a fraudster. I'm fingers crossing, because there's too many of them in the community. Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping he's not a fraudster. He's not playing on thing. But according to one friend, she said he does actually feed the poor people. He does actually do stuff for the community. Oh, because I get copyrights, and I don't want. I'm fed up getting them sometimes. Sometimes you just want to hear what the person's got to say, but you know, people, they have to play music in everything. Even the polygamy one, he played music in his one. I mean, luckily it's not a strike or nothing, but at the same time, I built this channel a bit too far now for it to get striked. So I'm trying my best. If I have to read articles all day long, just not to get strike, and talk all day long, I would do that. But sometimes it's just good to put up the videos so that people can see the people and hear from the horse's mouth, you know, what's going on, you know. So I'm going to let him continue.
Get the picture for the target. What's up?
You can't see a businessman. You know, it's when the Chinese are open for them business place. You see the Chinese, them just a boom now, and them light up one bag of incense. See it there? Oh, wait there. One bag of incense, the Chinese, them.
Sorry, folks, whatever he had to say before he put on that music had to be a miss, because YouTube is very strict. Any little thing, they will get you. Any little thing. You have to be so careful. So, yeah, so I'm going to let him continue talking.
Light up. All 200 incense them light up in them place. And from ching chang chang, and then them start to come to business now. Then everybody run going to the Chinaman place and buy things. I like to tell people, and then you know as I look at maroon now, you got about Jesus, make my business prosper. Jesus, everybody walk past your business got a Chinaman business. And then the Indian now come in now with theme local elephant and him local 6 and God and one bag of local thing. And then your business now, there. And prosper. Because people, God tell us them call fool, but he don't raise them. So the Chinaman business now, everlasting prosper. And the other time people come at your business is when the Chinese business lack. And then most of them come trust out your business or beg out your business. But as the Chinaman open tomorrow, I don't have a film store them go and buy the things them. When it takes sense, man, come check the emperor.
That is a true thing there. You see what he's saying about the altars and stuff and the little shrines that they have in their houses and the shops is true. That's a true thing. Right there. He's talking, see, right there, let me turn up a little bit because I think my daughter's playing music in the background. You can hear her in it. That is true. That right there is truth. And in the mornings, the Muslim plays their Islamic prayer in the morning, and you'll be in the shop and this music be playing, and that's how they draw their customers. It's all metaphysical. That's why we give our money to them, basically.
You know, see, every business obviously say shot. You know, see, all of my close friend them are all of the people who come check me. You know, see, them business shot. You know, maroon language, what we say shot, the business shot, that means the business elevate. You know, so much Chinese friend I have. You know, so much Indian friend I have. People. That's why I say get to the maroon identification card, people. You understand? And take back your maroon power. I once said that the maroon people will give certain books. Certain books are them say illegal in England and illegal in French and then the Spanish country. To them, we give back them books to people. So when you get back them books to people, you can't go to back your thing easily. Save! Rich boss, go on. I'm just still on the whole still on the road. Yeah, got you will let me say they cut it to you. Yeah. So things. So, you see, all the drinks there. Alright, good, don't do that. Safe. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, see the people, I'm a police force them. Yeah, see there? Anyway with the people. Any boy around put my police force. Remember, I'm telling you, I'm only in a war. Because if...
Yeah, but he is on point with the altar thing. He's on point. He's on point on that one. That one I can definitely agree with him for. When you enter a Chinese business or Indian business, they have Krishna, they have Hanuman, they have I forgot the next one name. I forgot his name. I forgot the one, the Hanuman, the elephant. They have Lakshmi, and they also have I forgot her name, Kuan Yin as well, because she's all about bringing in money. So he's not far from what he's talking about. So, you know, like I said, he has little gems. You just got to listen to him carefully what he's talking about in between everything else. See, he greet everybody. But I think that's just how we stay as a people on a whole. We greet everybody. He just showed the maroon cards. Now, the maroon cards is a whole nother thing, which I think I either have to do a panel on it to see what people think about that. And so we are all on the same pages. I also know that some of the Aborigine communities doing their treaty, or they're trying to get back their birthright. So in a sense, it's the same thing, right? It's one of the same thing. There's no difference. So I'm going to let him continue talking and let him continue to the end. And I'm going to show the other video of him doing his Obeah thing in the graveyard, because we are people, we are very spiritual, no matter which way we come at it, which way we deal with it. Even if we go to a graveyard and put down one thing, we go this and do that. Even though he did it pertaining to the Bill Gates, etc., sometimes you have to look past and watch what is going on, because sometimes certain things is hidden. There's little gems that is spoken there, because he did something which is similar to Haitian Vodou, very similar. The only difference, there wasn't a crowd, it's just him and another man. But I will show you the next one when he's finished.
The boy, Christopher Tough Janko, Billy said, him go inject my police, and the police commissioner kill them off. Or they make a sad mistake. You understand? Yes, I'm like how my police them get smart. I'm like how the militarism get smart. Can you hear them? Because people kill them dead. Say them never inject the militarism. Because through them say the military make to take orders. You hear them? Yo, we're going to catch enough military down Jamaica. Yeah. We're going to inject them from left. The militarism say, the first look at 20 man say, drop down and say, listen me. That means some of the emperor they attack a true thing. So the military them say them not take the injection vehicle because it is not a part of them system. So I big up my 1 JR, my 2 JR, my 3 JR them. I big up my police them in the street people. So when I fully run the place people, my police them and my military them and my doctors them, my 95 worker them, I forget good pay. Because trust me, sometimes I feel sorry for them people. But anyway, alright, see that people, so one I want me to tell about, that's why I'm driving so you know. See that? That look a taxi man, you know, people up in taxi. And the man driving up people. See that the man taxi catch a fire right at the middle of the road people. Yeah, see that? Right at the middle of the road the man taxi get a fire. Tell me if I know what better. Ah, youth! Tell me if I know what better man taxi people. See that? Look. Tell me people, see that? The poor local man drive him taxi. All of a sudden the man taxi catch a fire people. And guess I wish I to catch a fire from people. In the middle of the car, the man taxi catch a fire from people. Everybody until today, I said them never see nothing like that. Usually fire catch people, fire catch a bit of the engine. People, the man can catch from a fire from in the thing. See it? The poor look man people. See it? Tire burn off, everything burn off people. See the people? So tell me that's why I'm drive as people, cause I don't know. So I drive round and come show no. Some more time people, some boy bad mind. Me tell you, see a taxi route again people. Me tell you about taxi route. Everybody walk over, forget about the spot for the taxi route. People, if you believe, you have your taxi, and you see a taxi that's broke down. And when you come check the emperor say, listen me, and you go check Mushigashi. Mushigashi give you something that says, sprinkle this in your car. People, your car good, no more broke down. Ask the taxi man them. So how do you know where you go on? All of the police force, Police are walk over upon the police to get bigger position people. Yes, it's in the too. Politics again people. Remember I don't see that? What day Lisa Anna, I say Lisa Anna, come check me. Lisa go and hype and never come check me people. See that? My boy just come get some local must win powder. And from the man sprinkle it people. Until now Lisa Anna see the election gate. The local man everybody they say never popular and him don't know if it just good. The man go around Lisa by 1,000,000 miles. So if you be say who better in politics, you make a sort of mistake. I see ya, listen me. See it, I can't afford about a politics no who better in it, people see it. Yeah, all when see ya go never in a power him still a power. Edward Siago working Obeah. Well, people gonna find it. So big up Siago. Because Siago promote the thing. I have to big him up. And the first man carry science in a parliament. You understand? Siago working Obeah. We'll try to find people of it. Edward Siago in Zion Church. Alright, see how many tell you.
This is a revival mandate. I want to see the drilling of the band. So out of confusion tonight, I want everyone to understand the significance of the revival faith. So unstable tonight is God. Everything represent Him.
Yo, when you say Bob's Grange, that's what, hey, if a boy around with Bob's Grange, me tell you, say, if you decide so not going to stand parliament, you know, when you left Bob's Grange out tight, when you left Lisa out tight, when you left Damon Crawford, left Adley Shaw. Let me say about Anja now. Anja are good people, but me don't know people. I don't know if I'm the real Anja or the clone Anja, because I think the Chinese them capture the real Anja. But I don't know busy about Christopher tough something.
Mr. Siaga's soul now receive the heavens, and we are rejoicing with him and his soul.
Yeah, man.
My brethren, and my sister, so I greet you because you're my brethren. much when I was around at that time. But I put my heart and soul in it because it's something that is part of our culture, and especially part of the African culture.
You see it, people?
And I was studying
The man who said that be a white man, and the man that tell us our African culture.
I don't love one part of it, though I love two. I will ask Sabrina tonight, what happened to the other revival? Bothering me because in the few occasions that I went out to a particular function.
This stream is a funny stream, you know, so I don't know. I'm just seeing how it's behaving.
Nothing wrong with Church of God, but you are not Church of God. You are revival. And you must
Alright. Remember, you know, this is a man who under call a white man. You know, man said nothing wrong with Church of God, but Church of God is not our thing. We are revival. We are Zion. And even the Church of God was created by we, the Zion. And then the Pope now take it and turn it into a business and then force it per way and use it for captivate to people them. So here's a man who call a white man, he tell you the truth. Talk, say I go talk. Listen me say I go talk. Them can't kill you.
must keep to your own business and develop that. And don't make nobody lead you anywhere. You can lead them if anything. Make them understand it. You come with the music from Africa. This is the fundamental and the original African culture. One other time I will tell you about Kumina, which I also discovered, and in which today they're still speaking the African language. But that is not tonight. Tonight I just want to say thank you for bringing this into music, for bringing out such a crowd. What I'm worried about, if this thing get too big, is Jamaica also. But I don't want you to do that.
I just said them cut out him voice there, so what the man there say, if this thing get too big, Jamaica House of Parliament have to go step down and give with the powers. But them cut out him voice there, so people, because remember this is the ex-prime minister, he tell us when time we the Zion people them, we the Maroon people them, get back who run the powers, the House of Parliament have to turn over back to we. So them cut out him voice at the part, the Babsy Grange know too. That's why I'm telling you, say get to the Maroon identification. Because once you get to the Maroon identification, you are no longer underneath no Pope from system, no church and state. You know it's under your own system. You are a maroon, you're a sovereign, you're a native. So you get back your native culture, your native roots. And nothing wrong with that. What is wrong with getting back your own power? What is wrong with stop paying tax? What is wrong with you forget back your, all of the money that them rob from you? But no, no found still sell out and comfortable being house slave. Well, this is a man, that's why I tell you, say, no might talk about him white, but this is one of the realest man on the planet. The man come tell about the truth. Listen.
Because in my time, I had 10 bands over Jamaica House. And I built a place for the people to sit. I wanted people to learn and to know. But the other people never know that. And I would say, I bring up become a Jamaica House. And from that time, anything go wrong, you hear Scappadoppia. I don't want to run no chance with that again. I want you to teach the people. I want you to make them know how lovely this is. And I want them to enjoy the way they will enjoy. So there will be another time, not tonight. I have music. And here you probably never hear before. Music from those days. And I want to come and play it for you. I want you to hear it. I don't want to go to no revival meeting and hear them trumping Merry Christmas. So I will bring it up.
Yeah, the man tell us the man a burn out Merry Christmas. The man who knows say a white man, this is one of the realest man. That's why you couldn't tell him say he's a white man or he's a Caucasian or he's a colonial. The man tell us no, I'm a maroon. So the man with the color skin what you call white people tell us straight say him is 100% a maroon. And the man forced the culture more than Uno what have the skin.
And one evening I will make a time and you can hear all the things that used to go on in your roots revival. Does that have roots reggae? You have roots revival. So thank you all for what you have done tonight. And revival is still alive. African culture is still alive. And the African blood in you is still running free. Thank you all very much indeed. And thank you for this gift which has been given to me. I will preserve it and put it in a very special place among my other gifts. But the best gift you have given to me tonight is that you're going to hear with me. Thank you, man.
Yes, people, that was the Honorable, the Excellence, Edward Siaga, people. And see that, people, when the man dead, thousands of Zion people come out for the man, people. Thousands. That for sure say if the man was a corrupted man, people. That's why I don't watch Labour and I don't watch PMP, I watch the leader. That's why when I fully run the place, people, I shall take back some of the Labour right maroon them and some of the PMP maroon them who in a parliament who me know say love the country, and I shall make them run the parliament, people. I would have to enjoy that. All them say enjoy the fuck up things. Say enjoy people.
Sunday, the 23rd. The night of the 22nd, we're going to be back here in Tivoli North to clear it, to take you over here. And I hear a lot of arguments going around that you will not get a chance to look at it. I want West Kingston to recognize and to understand that the wishes of the man that...
Alright people, I don't really want your Andrew right now because I'm in vex. I'm vex with Andrew. You have to go fix things to get back on the Emperor good side. You understand? Because I don't see how Siago grow you. I will grow you up around the little poker thing. And then Andrew you sell you out with Bill Gates. So people don't take the injection needle, and people learn back on the science thing, because at the end of the day people, a science run the world. And technology. Science and technology run the world. So people know themselves. When they're ready for the pause ring, when they're ready for get on a read up, when they can check the Emperor, and if it's bigger than me, I will put it to my grandmaster them, and so far I'm not saying nothing bigger than me. You understand people? I'm big up Edward Siago people.
Yeah, so boy, it's kind of loud. The Edward Siaga is from the era of Bob Marley days, when him and the other MP was against each other, and Bob Marley's the one who formulated peace between the two MPs. That's where Edgar Siaga come from. So Edgar Siaga is very much looked on, very much, he has a lot of accolade in Jamaica. My mum says to me, when you're in Jamaica, you can't say which side you are part of, because they will kill you. You can't say you're part of this, you're part of that. There was also a Don Condondos in the 90s, and he stand up against the police and for the people, and he was taken down. So Jamaica have a lot of corruption and a lot of things going on, which is what Lewis is trying to say. But I'm just looking at the Obeah part of things today, really, because he went in and he bought 3 skeleton heads in the shop. He bought the oils, he bought the herbs, and, you know, certain things represent certain things in certain places, and certain things is done. So he was explaining the science, like I said. But you'll see him in action. I'm going to show him a little piece of him in action. I'm not going to show from the beginning, because he does a whole heap of talking. And I think this is an old one, but I'm gonna show it anyway. Let me just find it and show it.
Real quick, the rice and the sugar and maroon town thing to this. I'm going to man alone them thing and no bunny to that right as all here. That's right.
Scatter them across the east. Feed them across the west. Feed them across the north. Feed them across the south.
Snake!
Yes, man. Pass up the snake eye. Watch the snow. All here.
The maroon bone, where the maroon bone.
All here.
The maroon bone from the
The snake eye.
where the maroon bone.
Pass the maroon bone for me. The giant command. There's enough people never know say giant did that Jamaica. Pass it. And we'll go draw for them bone now. Take it out tight.
You don't play.
Yes.
The panic bone.
Yes, man. Because they never know, so that's why the English them keep it out of the secret archive. Because they know what the people them know.
People are maroon.
See it here? Maroon bone. Snake eye, pull the rum. Oi. Pull the rum, snake eye. Yes, people. Pull the rum. Sprinkle it on it. All hail, all hail, all hail, all hail, all hail, all hail, all hail.
Yeah, but that's special work. This work is not a joke. You have to come with speed. You see much people are working. 10 of them. 10 ducks, 5 women and 5 men. All them come from Maroon Town. And Maroon them. We know them. Nobody knows to tell them nothing about them dead when they come down here. From the Maroon.
So we carry them one down and the cemetery with.
Yeah, no.
That's them one that lead out all of the other rest of them.
Okay.
That's why, hold on, snake eye.
I know when we duck them when we bring them one with me. That's a rabbit here.
Alright, throw some for me and throw.
We come to them to people this year. You can get to that bastard. I work around for the poor people too. And them sickness. We can't get no sickness at Jamaica, man.
No
None.
corona down there.
We're not there. We're not there at all.
Let me the lighter there. Where the lighter there?
Them at the people.
You see, when you're seeing all this now, like there is deep Obeah and there's the mild one, but I did meet a maroon lady who was really into this, and she's talking about the Kumina. She said in the Kumina, which is like a drumming night amongst the people them. She said in the Kumina, she said people be walking on their head, on their hand, all sorts of things that's be happening. She said in the Kumina, that's when they do ancestry side. They call down the ancestors to give them the rum and whatever else they have to give them. While the drums are playing, lots of things is happening. There is a very old documentary about this, what he's doing right now. And many countries, including the West Indians or Caribbeans, however, right, there is lots of people who do deal with this art. There's also a movie which also highlights this. It's called Countryman. In Countryman, there's a young lady walking in the graveyard, and she sees an Obeah man. He's named Alabim. And when she sees him, you see the big bone that he's got. Alabim takes that same big bone and curses her. She drops to the ground. Now, we have a great power, right? We have a great power. It don't matter which way you come at it, no matter whether you do it this way or whether you do it in other ways, whether you call on God. To me, if you're calling on certain things, you have to know to send them back, because they will sit in this world. They will sit in the world. You see, on the Facebook, one time there was a picture taken of Neptune in the waves. You see, so the immortals, when you call on the immortals, you have to know to send them back, because they can destroy the whole earth right now. But I think this is where people fail to see. You You can't just be calling down things willy-nilly, calling down the ancestors really willy-nilly. And I'm sure the ancestors get tired of the children calling them. I've said this to many people because I feel like they don't like to be called in vain. They will come down, you can entertain them. Fair enough, you entertain them. But you have to know, you have to send them back to the nether world, the other side. Even though they stick with you anyway, because the dead, they want sometimes their their body is just a avatar or a whatever, it's a casing. Their soul is always here. But people call on these things, call on this, call on that, call on this. And there's always a residue that stays in the atmosphere. And people fail to understand certain things. Now, this what he's doing, fair enough, he's sending it to the Prime Minister, whoever. He's sending it to, Bill Gates, whatever. But at the same time, when they finish doing their work, you have to send them back, because they will just linger on the earth. So I'll let him continue until it finish. I won't say nothing, I'll just let it continue, basically, because people do things and they don't understand the powers behind certain things. You have to be a very good practitioner at these things. Fair enough, he said he's done works for people and it's worked and it's worked. To me, when a practitioner talk about it too much, people give testimonial of your work. It's the same with RT Boss. He is an Obeah man too, and a spiritual being or man or whatever, right? When you go around saying, oh yeah, I did this and I've done this and I've done that and I've done, my grandmother, she touched a lot of people in her time when she was here, right? She never had to say, look, I did this, I did that, right? When the people go away from you and they don't come back, right? You the practitioner, that's how you know when it's working. They shouldn't have to be under your tail skin 24/7, coming for this, coming for that, coming for this. So, because sometimes it's not a metaphysical thing. Sometimes it's a problem with them. It's a problem with them. They have trauma. People have traumas of all different things. So even though I see him doing this, because I've put people in the cauldron to myself, yeah? And it does work. It's all down to intentions and how you think and how you are as a person, right? Once again, it comes down to the bloodline again. The maroon bloodline is very deep. It's very, very deep. So it's left for him. He needs to explain why he did this, but I think he does explain it in a further video, which I might not play today. He explains about all this, but it's the way they're doing it, I suppose. It's a bit, I don't know. But then again, with these things, there's no structurals to certain things. So I'm going to let him go on, yeah?
Something that I like them cangle here. Maroon cangle him. Yes, man. Maroon cangle him. So people, what we are doing now? Andrew Wallace, them not out to give up. Boris Johnson, them not out to give up, people. Bill Gates not out to give up. So what we are going to do, we're going to fix them business. See it here? All Haitian white cigar. Call the Scots all them dumpy. What do you jump?
You work. Around town when I come and look for him good. I come from town. You work.
You work. Pass out of me.
Yeah, man.
On your work. Hallel, 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 hallel. Yes, man. So somebody listen to the fire from the time. And the time I'm gonna run out. Yes, man. The time I'm gonna run out.
So you had to stop it again. He said the time's gonna run out. It has, you know, they have to do their work in some form or fashion because the earth will replenish herself. You know, the earth will always replenish herself, right? So this is where people fail to see. The wicked would only perish for a time. Will only be strong for a time, but then they will perish. And this is the I mean, he's there saying this is for that one and this is for that one. Boris Johnson is still doing stupidness over here. Biden, whoever, still doing stupidness over there in the US. So, you know, this is just an example of Obeah or voodoo, juju, whatever you call it, name it. But these arts can be used for good too. So people need to learn the two sides. There's two sides. There's a dark and there's a light side to everything. People always think that when they do dark things and dark things, whatever, but they forget it comes back to the person, to the sender. It always returns to the sender, right? He showed that Edgar Siaga and whoever and the other prime minister is into the same thing he's into. So, like, how does he not know that they're not working on him as well? You know, so I will stop there. I'm not going to go on a linger.
That's one. Sow them. Boris Johnson. Once and for all, mash up them plan. What day them there do the plan? We get rid of deporting them. Now them get rid of the people them, ladies and gentlemen. All of them are going to pack up in another coffin, ladies and gentlemen. We'll pack them up in another coffin here.
Oh.
Boris Johnson.
We have a coffin here. Yeah.
All hail to the great ancestors. All hail to the gods and the ancestors, and we shall have thee. We shall have thee, Timoshe Manisha. Get rid of Bill Gates with the wickedest plan.
Now, when he's doing that Misha Manisha stuff, right, he don't even sound like you sound like he's taking the piss. Yeah, I will definitely. I'll take a look at that. You know, I will. Okay, I think I'm already attached to your YouTube. You know, I think I am. I'm sure I am. Oh, but if I'm not, I would link up. When people play, oh, I don't even know you can hear me properly. When people play with things, right? You play with things. You only are great for a time. You know, everything will go well. Everything will flow for you for that time. For the time, but and there's always a but. It comes back to you. So all this, what he's doing, he's doing all this. This is just show to me. If you are doing stuff like this, he just showed the revivalist church and all that stuff. Yeah, I'll give you my email. If you are doing all this and all this, you're doing all this, you're putting them in coffins and all this stuff, right? You pay in one sense and then it always comes back the next way, right? It's all well and good you're sending bullet to next man's house, tying up people, bonding people, taking people, woman, taking their wife, Yes, yeah. I hear what you're saying. I hear. It's true. We are going back to our roots, but this. Fair enough. He's doing a ritual. You know, sometimes there's not everything you must put on show on social media. Some rituals are not for social media. Some rituals have to be kept off because to me, it's more effective as well. The whole world don't have to know what you're doing. If he's dealing with the cards and everything else, that's different. He's dealing with the maroon cards, taking back your heritage. That's different, right? Even if he sits in a revivalist church, that's something else, right? Because I come from a revivalist background myself, so I've never I've never been around people doing all this. I have seen this in services when I've been in services in a church. I have seen the skull, the diamond crusted skull. But if you know who they are dealing with on a whole, he said he's dealing with the ancestors and stuff like that. But it's the way he's dealing with the skulls as well. Like there's no care, there's no love. When you're dealing with your ancestors, you give them love, you give them care, you feed them, you ask them what you need to ask them, and then you get your thing. Right, they give you how you treat them, they treat you back. Yes, exactly. Exactly. It's not supposed to be practiced. It's because I feel even when he starts doing the so-called tongue, when you talk tongues, when you talk in tongues or whatever, right? You are not here. There's nothing of you here. You don't be on this earth plane. You don't be somewhere. When you watch the Haitian Vodou, when they play the drum and their body bop one side, their body bop one next side, the body until the spirit mounts them. They are not here. They are not here. So it's like a mocking thing. I feel he's mocking, and I agree with you there. He is mocking. He is definitely mocking, and you need to these rituals have to be done separately off of broadcast, unless you're telling them, giving them a tutorial, or you're explaining something. That's fair enough. You know, it's not everything should be seen and heard. Sometimes this is where we go wrong as a people. We have to show everything online. We show. I used to show my ancestral money and stuff online and stuff. Do you know what, right? When you start showing certain things online and people start seeing certain things online, they send bad mind or think a certain way to your thing, right? Even with children, when you're showing your children, people can download the picture, take picture of the child. You don't know what people's doing with your pictures of your children, right? Because there's wicked people out there. There's bad people, there's good people. But it's like he's doing all this with the coffin and everything else. Yeah. And what he's doing is very much, to me, I can see slices of Haitian Vodou in it. I can see that. Right? But it's better he do it offline as well. Anyway, let him continue.
Them kill off the nation, them snake eye. Them kill off the nation. Them come with them Ebola snake eye. Them come with them Ebola. Them come with them 8 snake eye.
And it's still not work.
And it's still not work. Put on the one the snake eye. Special one that. Pass the golden child. Yes, snake eye. We big up Donald Trump's panda one and the golden child. Donald Trump said can't get him out. Everyone for Donald Trump's, the whole of America are dead. Put on the one for Donald Trump's snake eye. Here Donald Trump's, pick up yourself. Yeah man. Pass this now, the E+1 one this now man. Yeah man, fire and brimstone. For Bill Gates. Dr. Fauci.
Yes, I want a real foot blood.
Dr. Fuchi, put down for the snake, I may hold it too.
Yeah, man, I hear tonight, man. Blessed one.
Yes, man.
Okay.
Dr. Fuchi, go down in the pits of hell. Bill Gates, go down in the pits of hell. All of the other rest of Rockefeller, them. Who not do good, go down in the pits of hell. All of the people, them, in the medical associates who will kill off the people them innocently with the EDAP injection, them.
Yeah, I know about the Ark of the Covenant already, you know. I know about the Ark of the Covenant. I just it is another dimension. Remember, in Indiana Jones, they show the construction of the Ark of the Covenant and what's put in the Ark of the Covenant. Remember? I don't know whether you've seen Indiana Jones. If you've seen Indiana Jones, I can't remember where was the Golden Grail. It's the one with the Nazis anyway, right? Because the Nazis use sciences as well. Yeah. So I know about the Ark of the Covenant as well. To be honest with you, I do know about it. I thought it was a church or something you were sending me to, so I can take a look. But the Ark of the Covenant holds great powers, and they said it was a real life thing. It's similar to the crystal skull, which they said the allegedly aliens came down to Earth as well. There's a lot of science used in many countries. The science used in America, England, well, all over, there is some kind of science, spirits, something afoot, because they need to go forward sometimes in certain things. Like in UK right now, there's been a lot of transitions, a lot of stabbings, a lot of stuff. Sometimes England have a thirst for blood. Doesn't matter the form or the thing. That's a ritual within itself. Young blood even. So, yes, I hear what you're talking, Zion. I hear what you're talking about still. Covenant in Zion. I hear what you're talking about. Because though people look at these things as they don't exist, they think sometimes the Godhead alone can save them. That's why I put up the Kabbalah one. Kenya. It takes the caretakers, the fourth to the dimension is the water, the tabernacle, to be entered by the elder high priest. Oh, okay. I need to look up this one, what you're talking about now, because we don't know about this one, but we'll find it. Yes. There is a fourth dimension as well, whether people care to acknowledge that. You know, people can go through all different dimensions and different portals and everything. They can open up portals and they don't even realize they're doing it. So there is people have to have an understanding of certain things. Like, you know, when you grow up around certain elders, that's when you know. That's when you hear and you know. But I don't know whether I'm explaining it good, because like I have read a lot of things and seen a lot of things and just trying to go back into my data banks so I can remember what is what. But I'm going to let him play as well. And I'm going to look at I think that one in Kenya, what you're talking about, I think I've seen them as well before.
In the pits of hell, all the prime ministers and the presidents worldwide who are killing off the people them.
I'm mostly black them I kill.
I'm mostly black them I kill, but them I kill white too, and them I kill the Jews them. Okay. Because what go on now, them come under the name of Bill Gates now. IBM, who they fund Hitler to kill off the people them snake eye.
That's true.
Now Hitler coming under the name of Microsoft, Bill Gates. True. Yes man. So I see them at Jamaica who kill off the people with the 5G. 5G going into the pits of hell. 5G shall fail. 5G shall fail. God again a piece of hell.
Down.
Yes, snake eye. We see them at the candle. Yes, snake eye. The doctor never come. Then give me a message. Them say, Andrew, hold this. Put the blame on Peter Crofton. Put the blame on Crofton, Tufton. And come out and escape and beg apologize to the people.
Do you know what also this reminds me of? Remember that Oliver Samuels play where you see the woman and then was making mockery of and she was calling out certain names. That's what that just reminded me of there. That reminds me of that there. You know, the way he's dealing with it, like it's not a real thing. It's like a puppy show thing that it's not real how he's dealing with it. And it's a shame because because it sounds like he wants to be an MP or some sort. He really wants to become an MP and he really wants to be in the running so he can change the life of the people in Jamaica. Because I'm not Jamaican, really. I'm half Trini and half Barbadian, but my children's dads come from Jamaica, right? And my mum's over there. So he sounds like he's trying to reach the powers, be in the powers so he can make changes. But you don't make mockeries of stuff like this, which we have come into one mind, because it can lick you back. Hopefully I can get a comment up here, because you know what, right? I think we have to lighten, hearten the vibes, you know? We're going to no, if I can't find it next time, I'll put it up on the screen. Sorry, I took the sound off so I can go find the thing. I know I have it somewhere. I have it somewhere, right? Kumina is another spiritual thing what the Jamaicans deal with. And to me, them drum, right, they have the Naya Bingi drum and they have the Kumina. The Kumina is part of the Maroons' practice or life, or however you want to put it, is part of it. And when you hear them drums are so nice. I mean, because me love drums. I love drums. I do. I love the drum. I think that's why I like Nigerian music and Martinique music and certain things. I just love it. I can listen to drums all day long, all types of form, fashion. I'm there. So because it's like today seemed like a time for me to show Lewis doing his other side of things. For those who haven't seen him before or know of him, he's trying to get the cards for the Maroons so that they don't have to take the jab, or they don't have to do certain things. And if they go to jail, they could come out of jail. But he also shows that he works with higher powers, higher than him. I think in the last video, it's a bit of a mocking thing. The first video makes a little more sense to me because he actually went in on certain things about the Freemasonry and all that stuff. So, with that said, oh yes, come on, let me read. Yes, common eyes using drums and other instruments to interact with the spirit world. Yes. And even in the Baptist church, the spiritual Baptist church, the Trinidadian one, and I think the Grenadines and all them places, they use the drum now in churches. Before they didn't used to use the drums. They was against all that. There's a lot of locks in churches now. So the spiritual Baptists and places have come far because they used to not accept rastas into their churches. They used to not accept drumming into their churches. They will do the colors, they will do what they have to do, but they weren't accepting of certain things. They do stuff working with spirits, i.e. sigils, all that. They do that. They work with the Solomon seal. They work with all them things there. Some of them are in lodges. The Eastern Star, for instance, they work. So quite a lot of Caribbean people or elders are part of the Eastern Star Lodge. A lot of them, they learn a lot of things. They can go quite deep, you know. They can write seals. They can do certain things. Like I said, there was a maroon lady I met down at Peckham, and I met her. One friend did a night ramble walk, and as we're doing the walk, right, because she used to know a friend I used to know as well. As she doing the walk, because when we're going down, the maroon lady said, "Why is she taking us down to the depths? She's supposed to take us to high heights as we're doing the walk." I think that same night, I think I caught a cold. In fact, anyway, we were standing somewhere, and the moon was high because it was a full moon. And she goes, look, I'm going to make the moon illuminate. And so said, so done. The moon illuminated on the trees. Now, people may say that sounds weird, it sounds different. Now, in the West Indies, right, there's all sorts of weird things goes on in the West Indies. You see all sorts of things. You hear about talking snakes and doppy on the tree and people sweating food and giving to men and all sorts of craziness. You hear a lot of things, right? That's the type of things we as the children are brought up in, right? It's a deep reason, and I don't even think I can even go I don't even think I should even go down that rabbit hole, because there is the spiritual side of Black people is so interesting. You know, I feel we don't tap into it. Like I said, if we're supposed to cleanse this, like I said, there's loads of people doing rituals on cleansing earth. Some people are not born of that blood where they can do these things, right? There's many sayers, and they are the real ones. Sometimes the real ones don't even want to do the work, right? The real ones will be running away from certain work, right? But somehow they end up back doing the work, right? So there's people who say that they're cleansing and using certain deities to do this, right? Now, I've had a conversation with one subscriber, and we come to a conclusion, because they're not going to the right people to ask, do they need to do this? Because with everything, you have to get a heads up to say whether you can do this. Now, the ether is a good example of that. Before they even do anything, they have to throw the cowrie shells and get an answer from the divine or from the Orisha, and before they make a move. Exactly. Thank you. Let me put that one up there. Exactly. Some people, but then again, my grand did say at one point, like when I was in my 20s, she said that there'll be many false ones come up and they'll be saying that they're this and saying that they're that and saying that they're this. Do you know what? It's all happening now. It's happening now on a bigger scale. And yes, it's happening on a bigger scale. And there's many of them that I've seen online. For instance, I give you another example. There was once somebody doing an Oshun cleansing, or so she said, right? But they always choose Oshun when she was at her younger time. They never go to when she was at her older time, her older phase of life, right? They always choose when she was at her young stage, you know, when she's sexual and all that stuff, sweetness, honey, all that, right? So there's certain people on the YouTube who has said already, this is not a time to be sweet and nice and whatever, right? You have to batten down your thing because there's a spiritual war going on, and it's a physical and it's a mental war, right? But some people are not made to do the work. The ones who is made to do the work they run away from the work. They literally run away from the work. It takes something major for them to come back into themselves, for them to do the work, to come back to handle what they need to do. Yeah. So when people is out here, yes, drumming is a good thing, yes. But over here, it doesn't mean that UK, I'm saying UK for instance, right, in the West Indies, because when you watch them in the West Indies, how they move, how they behave when they're drumming, their spirit, their inner self is different to us lot over here, unless we be going backwards and forwards over there all the time, keeping in contact with ourselves, keeping connected with ourselves. We sometimes disconnect. Why? Because over here, when it's cold and certain things, unless you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, or you can keep in contact with yourself, with your higher self, or whatever, as they call it. I don't like using higher self because it always reminds me of that fool on the internet. But when you are in connection with yourself, you are at one with yourself, right? You get a bigger battle out there, right? The Illuminati, whoever, will more come for you than they come for the ones who's pretending to be a certain way. And there's a lot of pretenders out there. I sometimes see them, and I have to step back and not say nothing because it's not for me to say. So yeah, when you're raised of a certain root, then it's different, you know. But I didn't plan to come and stay on here all day, right? But I just thought I'd put up the 2 videos as well. So yeah, you have to be of ancient priestly blood. You do. Hi Nubia. You have to be of high priestly blood and high knowing. This is why the slave masters were afraid of us reconnecting with our yes, exactly. That's what this is the biggest problem right now, because we're very divided. I put up the Willie Lynch letter. Okay, I didn't read it very fluently, very whatever. I have a stammer, yeah. So when I'm reading something, sometimes I'll be looking at the word and it's like it doesn't come out fluently as I would like it. See how I'm talking fluently now? The Willie Lynch letter or the Willie Lynch idea is still within us. even in 2021. We are not together. When there's certain child abusers, stuff like that in our community, we don't flush them out. It seems that like this accommodation thing going on. That's what I'm seeing. I've seen it in the conscious community. African Bambata, I have to keep referring to him because he's a very good example. So we wasn't allowed to connect with ourselves, nor was we allowed to be who we want to be, right? And this is shown in different ways. I put up Bozoro, right? Bozoro, capoeira is a spiritual art in Brazil or Cuba. I think it's Brazil, right? The drums, what they use, the rhythms, each represents different things. When they're singing and the way they're doing the capoeira, right? It is a defense. It is self-defense, but it's also a connection to their deity or whatever. When they do the clava, there's certain deities come into play. You see Ogun, you see Shango when they're doing the clava in Brazil and Cuba. So I feel right, my house is busy. Yeah, so I feel like when people is looking up on certain things, you have to check the whole. Like Martinique, particularly, you see how Jamaica does their drumming and stuff like that. If you watch a Martinique person dance as well, because Martinique, sometimes they do similar. We all do similar steps in different ways. You know, we're all connected. I can even refer to the New Orleans. They do certain steps too, as well, right? They also dance like Haitians in Congo Square. When they go on Congo Square and they're dancing, you can see the patterns, the dance, the footwork, the drums once again come into play. We are very connected people. There's what I used to do at one time. I used to play a lot of batter drumming here when the children was younger, and I couldn't come out the house. I literally had to reduce everything. I used to have my little thing on the ground. I used to do a lot of, like I said, a lot of rituals, cleanses, everything. My children couldn't even tell you. They was brought up around altars and crystals and all that, but sometimes you don't really need that because you are the altar. But people don't see it like that. They see it like they need the physical. Some people need the physical thing and some people don't. So it all depends on you and who you are. Now, once again, right, we come back to people seeing you as a light being. Now, they will get fearful of that light. They get jealous of that light. Me love to see light beings because the more some light beings move weird, they have a weirdness about them, an air about them. All right. So people have an idea that when you're spiritual, that you have to be covered in crystals and covered like this and covered like this. Is not the case, right? If you really need to defend yourself, there is ways to defend yourself. If you come from a root, a yoke, right, and your parents was a certain way from time, you would remember what to do. There is a way of hurting people, yes, without touching them. Yes, you can do that. There is a way to heal people as well. So it can go one or two ways, But I feel like I'm going on. I feel like I'm going on. See, when I start going, right, like I said, we didn't come on here for a long chat and preaching. I'm not like preach. But we are very much disconnected. We are. This is why I like the Americans in a certain way, because when they do things, they don't do things halfway, right? They keep, all right, even though there's loads of splinter groups, their groups are strong in certain ways, yeah? So we our spiritual connection. Sometimes you just got to follow your inner self, your inner self. You have to follow how you feel, right? I was mentoring somebody. I never tell her, oh no, you got to do this. You got to be this way. You can't eat meat. You can't eat that. Listen, if you're a good teacher, your student would learn, right? Right. Some people. There are certain characters, because you need a strong character. You can't break down a strong character. If you are a good teacher and your student have a strong character, right, that student would learn. If they really want to learn something, they would learn something, right? They would really learn it, right? You don't have to say, oh no, you have to be vegan, you have to be this. Do you know what? Right, people were saying at one point that the ancestors was vegetarian and vegan and all this, right? They was going around saying that. At one point, there was one little thing about the sexual position of the ancestors, right? There was all under that foolishness. People don't. No, what am I saying? They are looking for a leader. They want another Marcus Garvey to be born. They want another Malcolm X to come true. Shaka Zulu come true. Shaka Zulu, Malcolm X and them, they done their works. They gone on to where they need to go. Right? So it's left for us as a people. And another thing, we are too judgy. We are too judgy. Right? When we all start out on our road, yeah, which I've always said, I've seen people judging people on certain places, certain platforms. We won't go into what them say and that, right? When you first start out, the first thing people pull for is crystals. That's the first thing they go for is crystals. They go for a book. It can be a Abraham Hicks. It can be a Doreen Virtue. It can be any of those. So when people is finding fault of people and what they're doing, do you know what, right? They all find their way, because the teacher would always make themselves present to the student, or the student would make themselves present to the teacher. So me, right, I don't live in the fanciest place, and I'm sure when people come, they probably look down on me, right? But it's not me, it's not the house where I'm in, because some people are just glad that they have a roof over their head, to be honest, right about now. It's what you're saying, it's what comes out your mouth. How do you empower people? How do you raise up people? People think, oh yeah, right, I know spiritual things, oh I can't tell you this, I can't tell you that. The same thing, most people be talking about being the books. At one point there was a thing that people were saying, oh no, you have to go to the source. You have to go to the source. When you ask them certain questions, you have to go to the source. Sometimes the source is in a book, because people can self-initiate themselves into things, right? They can self-initiate, right? That's where people get it wrong. Yes, you can get initiated and all that. There's plenty of money involving in the initiation. Ether practitioners ask for a lot of money, but they have to be highly recommended for them to do what they got to do. When you go to a church to get baptized or whatever the case may be, you have to make sure the church is good, because when people put their hand on your head, that can all turn you mad. So people say a lot of things. They say a lot of things, and there's lots of bad mind people out there. Yeah, they'd be jealous of people for what? Yeah. Now, I'm going to use the Chinese as a good example. Now, no, is it Chinese or is it? Oh, anyway, let's run with me for a bit. Buddha, I use him because they say Buddha, he's a black man and right? Buddha used to sit under a tree, and he looked poor and all that. But look how many people's following Buddha, doing the meditation, doing the Sanskits or whatever else. I could be mixing it up. I don't even know. I can't remember the story now. I haven't looked at the work for ages, so don't come for me for that. So with people, we look at the wrong things. We look at the wrong things, and the men needs to get back on their throne too. They need to stand on their square, because the men are not even on their square right now. The women is fighting more than the men in certain ways. Some of them, not all. I'm not saying all men, because there are loads of warlocks out there too. So there's witches and there's warlocks out there. And it's not just white people who is like that. There's black people like that too. So yeah, I feel like I'm going on. You see now, because when I'm talking, it's not me always talking, okay? So I'm going to come off of here. And I'm going to do my nightly thing, because sometimes when I talk in the night, I like to see people's comments, because it excites me when I read the comments and stuff. So I've been on here long enough. My house, normally I'll be doing my stuff and I'll be watching my YouTube or whatever. It's only because I follow my mind, because I saw that video before and I sent it to one friend already. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to pull up that one. I didn't even watch all of it. Yeah, I didn't even watch all of it. So, but I have been watching the revivalists a lot, the Jamaican revivalists a lot. I have. So it's so strange that he pulled up the Jamaican revivalist, because I nearly got married to a Jamaican revivalist when I was younger. So, but I was really brought up a spiritual Baptist girl, really, originally. So, like I said, it is good to watch these things. We should always be open-minded. When LA is talking, sometime you read in between, you take out the little piece and you keep some and you chuck away some. Because he's just like, to me, I feel like he was boasting. Oh, I done this, I done that. So what if you done this and done that? If you're a spiritual man, by your works we will see. The same RT boss. Chat. Love chat too much. Just your testimonials will show who you are and how good you are. And what's her name? Marie, whatever she name is. Me can't remember. Amari is only just now settled down now, because I think she went and deal with RT Boss as well. I think RT Boss deal with her as well. So she's only just now settling down little bit now, because Amari was really bad. Amari was bad. She was bad. She's calmed down now a lot. I can say that now, because I've heard the worst of her. For him to bring up Amari is no big thing. That's nothing. So what if you're dealing with big people? It don't make no difference. You just show the works. The only thing I want to know is, can I use that card in UK? Can we over here use that card over here? If not, I don't want to, I can't engage. I just listen to your little bits. So you'll talk about Mutabaruka. I just seen a video about him talk about Mutabaruka. So I might just look at that Mutabaruka one. I might even put it on here, because I love Mutabaruka. But anyways, I'm going elsewhere now, and it's not even to deal with what I was talking about. But anyway, I'm gonna come off. I hope you have a good day, a good afternoon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for engaging. And I'm going to give this a break, because I've been on here like nearly every single day for the past week. I need to actually give it a break. I need to actually close the laptop and try and ease for a bit, because then you can go into overkill. And like I said, YouTube, you the creator, you get addicted to making videos and talking and all that, and I don't want to be like that, to be honest. So with that said, everybody have a good day, good afternoon, whatever time you're in. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.